So in this double daily, we're gonna cover salesmanship and why I was going to join a agency in order to do so, even if it was gonna be cost a lot of other things in my life. The thing with sales is that people who say that it's stressful are not wrong. People who say that it's going to be cost a lot of things, not just your time, energy, and resources, but even then it's going to cost more than just that. They're not wrong. I think I wasn't. I don't think I was desperate to do a sales industry job. I think I was just trying to make sure that I knew that I had direction in my life and that I was willing to stand for what I believed in a nutshell. But I really did think I was going to be good at sales. I think the particular company I was doing it for was for life insurance, and I was going to do sales for them, either full time or part time, or do a part time like customer service representative role. Which I think some people agreed that that would have been more lenient than even doing sales work and salesmanship, being a salesman, etc. Or saleswoman, for though usually the audience are female, but that's on me though. I'm not gonna make jokes about that, unfortunately. Yeah, whatever. But I grinded through basically much of March to May or June, thinking that I was gonna be a salesman, and I don't know if people believe me that fast I committed to it, but the thing was that I was going to try to do salesmanship until either I could get enough for a legitimate pension, which would be more work than I would even expected anyways for me to do, but it would have gathered up enough of the ball rolling for that. I wanted to just try salesmanship at the expense of other things in my life. I would have been not been able to do with the time it takes, because one of the biggest concerns with sales was not so much if I could do a good job or get paid, but as if I was willing to give all that time and energy into it and stress maybe. But I don't believe I never had stress. That's for another video, unfortunately. I can tell about that in this video, but I just may not have time for that. Yeah, maybe. But I really thought I was gonna be good at sales. I was getting quite a bit of affirmations from things like the that Napoleon Hill and what's the other guy? Napoleon Hill and Earl Nightingale, and some of those people who were talking about like working hard and making sure that you know that you were doing you're better for yourself. It was not, and even reading this newspaper sometimes, reading the newspaper like stuff like, oh, get a job that has a pension if you can, otherwise don't have high expectations for kids or a great living. Not even if that's too blunt or even unrealistic for that matter. But the advice that elderlies would give some experienced people, veterans, not always right about that, but teach their own different experiences in life. But the great reality was that my job did have a pension, and did have a way to have growth potentials, and you could progress through the ladder pretty well, even at the expense of working for another company. But even with that, never mind. That's what a lot of entrepreneurs like Rob Blake talk about, was like not having to be a slave to a 9 to 5, or actually like being even Romina from the Create IRL, but for that matter, the 9 to 5 avoidance, the going for the entrepreneurship, creative content creator community stuff, creatives portals, all that, creative portals. But with sales, I was willing to go through all of that just to see if I could have confidence builds confidence, confidence builds confidence kind of thing, and to also make sure that I knew that I would be successful at something that I actually know I'd be passionate about. Because I really did think I was passionate at sales. Even if it was for something I didn't necessarily have to believe in completely, like life insurance. But I was studying the courses pretty well. You pay quite a bit of a fortune, understandably, just to get the license. So you pay quite a bit, not too much, but quite a bit of money just to go through with that stuff. And it does seem like a shill or a scam. That's what I kept hearing about, stuff like that. But then again, I've been hearing a lot about even therapy being a scam. So it's not like it's not like the people who love me were saying that about every single thing, but it was about certain things in particular. So saying therapy is a scam, saying that the life insurance license would be a scam for sales. But yeah, that wasn't me though. But it's just not gonna let's just say that though. But not yet, at least not yet. But if that's not personal, private. But I didn't I didn't have too much adversity with sales. I was learning pretty fast. I was actually learning even with myself how to deal with the people I was talking to, like on the Zoom meetings at night. I had a lot of trust in them, even if it wasn't warranted, but I did trust in them, and it was very easy going, just talking to the people, and in the meetings, and getting to know them, and then getting to through the courses and learning a lot from them, negotiating with my uh counselor, I guess you call them, or help desk people, secretaries who I negotiated with. And I kept in touch while I was learning going through the ropes of the courses and the meetings and all that, and the weekly meetings we'd have for the organization as well, visiting some of those every once in a while. But you'll even see in some of my older videos the two of them in particular, the architectural fates. Architectural fate is the second one. I joked a lot, I teased a bit about some of my romantic prospects in that one, but like and the one before that was when I was talking about the course itself more so, and talking about ridiculous. It wasn't actually pissing me off, but it wasn't ridiculous. It wasn't pissing me off. I was just pretending. I was making a big deal about it for entertainment reasons, I guess. But it actually was kind of interesting how that went, and actually I wasn't faking it either. But it was interesting how it went by that went. But a couple of my videos, my blank slate videos, talking about my sales course stuff, and one video in particular shows you exactly what I'm doing in the courses, and the quiz, and the life story stuff. That's the 4-minute life story told thing. So it's based on a certain 36 question I think, Alan something. But based on that, other course I was studying combinatorics, Stop Mission University, and Power Apps, which I'm still doing Power Apps even today, by the way. So I did that. I talked on another video about that, but I did not. I said I was going to go on a definite hiatus from sales, and it's looking a little grim now because they contacted me a month or two ago about if I was going to come back, and now the email's gone for some reason. I can't find it. I was going to respond back, but I was too late with that. But I didn't actually think I was going to keep going away from it. I really wanted to come back, even if it was expensive, even if my family was against it, even if they really thought I was not going to come back ever again. But if the company thought I was never going to come back ever again, they cut me out of the system if they did. If they kicked me or cut me out of the system. But I want to come back if I can. But if I don't come back, it won't be just to have the time for Olympic sprinting or combinatorics or claymation or power apps or cartooning or even anything else I do in my life story. Like even writing the autobiography itself, stuff like that. Or even the STEM stuff, whatever. It's just anything else I might be after that point, inventing, a lot of that stuff that I wouldn't have time for if I was doing sales all the time, or even part of the time. It'd be a really big bummer if I didn't get to go to the Olympics if I was just doing salesmanship the whole time, just for other stuff that made me seem shallow. But, I just I didn't leave because I didn't particularly indefinitely go on a hiatus or even leave forever just because I didn't know any better. It's not just because my family convinced me to get out of it, or even negotiate that with me successfully somehow, so I wouldn't screw myself over. It was just a bit of a sad story. It kind of felt like by the time I was doing the life story stuff and the sales, like this in particular, it wasn't just because of the bad stuff that was happening to me throughout the year or even before the year. It was like sometimes it kind of was influenced by that stuff, and then there was a bit of the reason that I didn't continue with the final exam for the first set of courses. I got advice from someone I really care about, and I took it to heart. And I used it on myself. So the advice was to know I could take a break. Basically, you might know who you are, but you told me that, and it was if you're here, yeah, that's basically what you told me. Was you told me that it's okay to take a break, and I did take that to heart. I took that to heart with that in particular. So it ended up locking the system again. So I paid for this course once over, because it renewed after the first time I reversed it. So I went to the course twice. First over was when I didn't start at all, and the second time was when I went through as much as possible. I think everything until the final exam of the whole first of 3 courses or first of 3 parts, and then there's 2 course segments and then a final segment where you test out stuff. And I 99%ed the first set of 3. The second part is about more less studying, more incorporation, the cramming down the information. And the third part's like simulation stuff. And then I 99% of I went from 17% to 57, and then 17% was stuck for a long while, like a week and a half. And I was at 50%, 7% for a little while longer in the second video you may have seen about the architectural fate. And then I was at 99%, and I stopped behind the final exam for 3 days in a row, 99%. I was thinking, if I take a break from this, it'll lock again, and if I really renew it again, I'd better finish the final exam. Just if I renew it for $40 more, twice over, I better finish the final exam, or else we waste the money. But not even just that, but just be actually doing it for the sake of actually knowing that I care about this, because I really did think that sales was my passion, if not potential passion. Anything that feels like a potential passion, even if in the head of the likes of claymation or combinatorics or power apps or sprinting, that doesn't always feel like it's a passion. Well, sprinting does feel like a passion anyways, even power apps, but claymation and cartoon had a bit of a short hiatus about that. But sales was not something I wanted to quit too easily, and I wasn't obsessed or stubborn about per se, but I was trying to make sure I knew what I was doing with it, and I didn't want to have to betray anyone or even myself if that wasn't how it worked. So by the time I quit on it, from the advice to take a break, I followed through with other life story stuff, and then it made it easier for me to understand what I was going to do with my life, even if I wasn't always going to be right about everything or even wrong about everything, sustainable or not. But I still believe in sustainable milestone kind of thing. That may be for another video, but yeah. That's about my salesmanship life life insurance sales or whatever you call it. I accept you, Tony. Remember that there's something more beautiful than desperation, and there's nothing more devastating than pretending not to care. Stay safe in the pandemic, everyone. And I'll see you in the next double dailies for either tomorrow or the weekend. If the weekend's not easy, I'll do the weekends another day. So, see you guys.